Welcome to Uncle's Channel. Thanks for watching today. And two of my favorite franchises from the 80s have finally combined into one for a brand new toy line as well as comic book included within the toys. This is going to be Masters of the Universe as well as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it's going to be called Turtles of Grayskull. Now this is going to be published by Mattel. So basically the Turtles are going to be coming into Eternia and they're going to be part of the Masters of the Universe storyline here instead of the other way around. And so Mattel's going to have like all the packaging look very similar to Masters of the Universe. But today we're going to go through every single figure that's been announced for Wave 1 of this particular toy line. Look at every single picture we can find of them, break down the story best we can of what's been announced so far, and just give our best picture as far as what these Turtles of Grayskull are all about. And I do apologize that my voice is going out a little bit. Obviously it's allergy season and that's getting to me just as much as anybody. But let's take a look at the overall roster here. You have mutated HeMan, who's going to be a bad guy inside of this particular universe. Leonardo, Donatello, Man-at-Arms, Raphael, and those are obviously all your good guys. Michelangelo is some reason left out of Wave 1. I don't know why, it's a little odd here. You have mutated Ram Man, who's going to be a villain. Shredder, villain. Beastman, I'm assuming villain, but we don't know for sure. Mousejaw, villain. Slacker, who we're going to get to in a little bit because it's a pretty cool little storyline behind him. Krang, as well as mutated Mossman, who's like the most out there, crazy looking of all of them, but honestly probably one of my favorite ones as well. Now we're going to start off with Leonardo because he's going to give our best background as far as like the storyline goes. And so as you look at the card for Leonardo here, now first off, you're going to notice, like I said earlier, all the cards are going to look very similar to the packaging for Masters of the Universe. And if you're looking at Leonardo himself, he does say on the front of the card, Heroic Ninja Turtle Leader. And so you can see the packaging is really cool here. I like that. But on the back of the card, not only we get some awesome artwork for Leonardo, fighting against a a shredder inside the Eternia universe, but also we have the storyline. It says, an explosion from the Technodrome sends the Ninja Turtles across dimensions into Eternia. Now augmented with tech from Man-at-Arms Armory, Leonardo leads his brothers into battle for the power of Grayskull. And like I said, you got an awesome looking picture on the back there. But as we look at the figure for Leonardo himself, I mean, like, it is a really, really cool looking figure. First off, the sword is able to be detached into two separate parts to give him two katanas, but they can be combined, sort of like the power of Grayskull, I guess. It has just simply one massive sword. He can take his shell off for like a shield, and I love his little fur, I don't know, I guess scarf or little battle accessory there. I don't know, I enjoy that at the same time. But Leonardo is just a cool looking figure. I feel like they really did take the turtle style, mixed with Masters of the Universe, and gave us a pretty cool looking figure. And I'm not going to be able to say that about all the figures, but Leonardo, to me, is a really cool one. Now our next one's going to be Raphael, and I don't have the back of the box for Raphael, so we can't go over like the storyline to elaborate more. But we do know that the turtles are being cast into Eternia from an explosion at the Technodrome, and Raphael is going to be a combination of himself as well as Ram Man, and you can tell like definitely he has the armory that Man-at-Arms has crafted for Ram Man put on him here, all the way down to like the little helmet that he has on. It looks just like Ram Man, and also like an extra little accessory he can put on his hand to give himself two sides. But otherwise, if you take that off, he just has like one massive side, which is sort of like the battle axe for Ram Man. And to me, I love the design of Raphael here. He can also take off his shell, use it as a shield. I don't know how that's going to work because, you know, the turtles, you know, they're attached to their shell. I don't know. I wish they'd include like an image of what the turtles looked like from the backside with the shell gone, but they don't do that in these individual pictures. But to me, Raphael, all these pictures portray a great looking figure, and that's another one I will probably end up picking up when they release this particular line. And then we have Donatello, who's going to be our last of our turtles included in this collection. And for this one, we do have the box, so we can look at the back of the box for Donatello. Has a crazy good looking picture of him going up against Beastman. And we're going to get to Beastman in a second because I love his armor set as well. But Donatello is a combination of Man-at-Arms as far as like all of his equipment, all of his weapons, and just sort of the classic Donatello look. Now, the back of the box does say, crossing dimensions isn't so bad, not if you're Donatello and strike up a friendship with Man-at-Arms. When these two tech geniuses put their minds together, they create turtle-inspired Eternia armor to combat Crane's mutants. And I do apologize earlier, I said we didn't get a look of the turtles without their shell. Right there on the back of the box is Donatello with his shell being removed for the shield. And so you can sort of get an image of what the turtles are going to look like. Pretty much just sort of classic HeMan figures. And so it doesn't look weird, doesn't look awkward, honestly looks just fine. But let's take a look at the actual figure of Donatello. You can tell he's definitely got the Man-at-Arms as far as like weapons, armor set up, and he's a cool looking turtle. I think he's, of the three that they've displayed, he's my least favorite. Probably Leonardo and Raphael just a small tier above Man-at-Arms here, or I'm sorry, Donatello. But he's still a cool looking figure. I like the weapon that they gave him because it's like sort of like a bow, but it's not a bow. And so I don't know. I think it fits him pretty well here. Like I said, I'll probably pick up all of the actual turtles for this line, and I'm anxious to see what they do with Michelangelo because I don't have a clue at the moment, but I'm very excited when they finally reveal that. And next up, let's go into the main man himself, who's going to be He-Man. And honestly, this is my least favorite figure of the entire line, which is sort of odd because, you know, I adore He-Man. He's a great hero, but for this one, they've made him a villain, and the figure just does not look good. I just don't like it at all. But let's go ahead and take a look at it here. It says the most powerful mutant in the universe. And for this one, it actually shows the back of the box as well. And you can see here he is allied with Shredder. And of course, it's a great looking picture. I love the artwork they've done for all of these figures. And this is no exception. I love the, the little green ooze coming out of Shredder's giant, I don't know, monument or doorway there behind him. And of course, it says down here, what happens when the most powerful man in the universe is doused with mutagenic ooze from another dimension? Nothing good. With He-Man now a mindless pawn in Skeletor's hand, will this be the end of Eternia? And so right there we have pretty much proof that He-Man is a bad guy in this particular storyline. He's been doused with the mutagenic ooze. He's mutated into whatever this creature is here. And obviously he's going to be working with Skeletor as well as Shredder. And what a mighty force that's going to be. Great artwork, but let's look at the actual figure himself because I just do not like the way he looks. Now, obviously, his skin color's been changed to blue, or I guess sort of purplish blue. Veins are bulging out there, a very aggressive look on his face, and he does look mindless. I mean, they did portray that really well as far as like what the storyline was going. He doesn't have his traditional sword, just simply has himself a battle mace here. And I don't know, there's something about it that I just don't like, and I don't see myself wanting to purchase this particular action figure. The one interesting part is his vest where it has the H on it. It does look more like the Hordak as far as like the Hordak symbol, little demon bat or whatever. It does remind me more of that. And so they did a good job making him evil, but I just don't like it. I don't see myself wanting to purchase that figure. But let's go ahead and continue on to storyline here and look at our next figure that has a back of the box, and that's going to be Man-at-Arms. And Man-at-Arms is unaffected by the mutagen, or maybe he just simply didn't get any mutagen on him. That's probably what it is. But on the back of the box, we have a picture of him going up against Crane, who's a awesome looking villain we're going to have inside the Masters of the Universe, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. But the back of the box does say, with He-Man missing, Man-at-Arms knows all of Eternia is vulnerable to Skeletor's nefarious schemes. Fortunately, he meets 4 heroic brothers, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Together, they can save the universe. And so, right there, we have him obviously helping with the Turtles here. And obviously, this matches up the storyline we've been talking about as far as like using his knowledge as far as tech to create weaponry and armory for him and the Turtles. And he even has a little shield that looks like the Turtle shield to go along with the Turtles. And so, it's nice to see them all working together as a team. And I do like his figure as a whole, but I've never been like a huge Man-at-Arms fan, so I can't say like I'm going to purchase this one for sure. It just sort of depends on the price point for a lot of these. I don't mind him, but I don't necessarily love him. I do think it's cool they put some turtle designs as far like on the end of the scepter, on like his little knee pad there. The shield itself is like a turtle shell, just like the turtle's going to be using. There's cool stuff about the figure, but like I said, I'll be on the fence as far as like purchasing this one. Now next up is going to be the mutated Ram Man, who's going to be sort of the counterpart to Raphael here. And obviously he got, doused in the same ooze that He-Man did. Clearly has become a villain here. And honestly, I don't really love this design. I think he's better than He-Man, but I feel pretty similar to the same feelings that I did regarding He-Man. They obviously just sort of made him a mutant here. I feel like they could have done a little bit more maybe with the Ram features. Maybe like made him a mutant Ram instead of just simply a mutant human, sort of like they did with He-Man. And I don't know, he's fine. And I just sort of feel like they made a mindless beast here. And I don't know, I just don't really particularly love this figure. He's better than He-Man, but he's not better by much. But that's all going to change here for the next figure, who's going to be Mouse Jaw, because I adore the look of this figure. They've taken Trap Jaw and they've combined him with a Mouser to create Mouse Jaw. And it's just such a natural fit, and I love everything about the figure. I love the color scheme. I love how they made it where he could have like a Mouser on his arm itself, put his traditional weapon on there as well. But even like his little helmet is more like a Mouser, and I don't know. I just love this figure. I don't know, this may be my favorite of all of the line here. And I've said that probably already, but I just really do love this figure. And this is going to be one I've definitely ended up purchasing. If I got none of the other figures, this would probably be at the top of the game here. But I've always loved the figure of Trapjaw. I love the idea of Mousers, and the combination, they could not have done a better job with this figure. But then let's take a step back and go back to Beastman for a second. And Beastman has some amazing armor accessories. You're gonna be like a samurai, almost like a spine whip here. A really great set of accessories that are coming for Beastman. If you take the accessories away, I'm pretty sure that's like the original Beastman figure from the reissued toy line. And so they didn't like really do anything with him except give him a new accessories, which is sort of cool. I mean, I like the accessories, and I really like that shield of, you know, that looks like a Diablo's head on it. But I don't know, I feel like they could have done more as far as like actually changing the Beastman figure. I like it, but I feel like they sort of took the easy way out on this figure. But I do like that he's included, and I do like the armor, but I don't know for sure I'm going to end up purchasing him. But let's continue on the main villain train here, and let's go to Shredder. And Shredder is a very, very cool looking figure. It looks like a mixture of the Hordak or the Horde army with Shredder here. And I mean, they got to put Hordak in the set at some point as well. I know Skeletor's missing, but you know the Horde and Hordak is coming in here. Shredder does have the Foot Clan symbol on him. He's really looking pretty crazy here as far as like just fits into the HeMan line perfectly. Does have the hordes as far as his bow and arrow, or I'm sorry, his crossbow. Has a traditional battle axe. Man, he's looking ferocious. And they haven't done like a ton to him to make him like, you know, stand out from like a normal Shredder. But Shredder just has such an iconic look anyway. And I just think it's a really cool looking figure that sort of does a great job as far as like combining the two universes together that still looks like completely like both universes. And then let's get to my next favorite figure, who actually might be my favorite one of the whole line. He's giving a Mouse Jaw a run for his money. And this is going to be a mutated Moss Man. And I've always liked the idea of Moss Man anyway. But they have like really taken him to a whole nother level here. Getting like a Venus flytrap extension, like these little spider arms or these vines that are coming out. They really just like made him a true plant monster. And I just love all the designs they have going for this. You can change his head out with the Venus flytrap. You can change it onto his arm here. All the vines are coming out for his armor itself. You can choose basically how much you want mutated Moss Man to be mutated. And I'm not sure if it's going to come into the storyline or not. They didn't have the back of the box for him. But man, I love mutated Moss Man. I saw on one side, I think it's the Toy Habit site, they mentioned something that I also noticed, which he looks like something out of Stranger Things, which is weird because like Turtles has already crossed over to the Stranger Things universe, and now like Turtles has crossed into HeMan. It's like all these are sort of coming together to some degree, and I know it's not actually Stranger Things, but it just sort of reminds me a little bit of that. And then we don't have a whole lot of pictures of the next one here, who's going to be a combination of Slash and Faker combined, which I assume is going to be pronounced Slaker, but it could be Slacker on there. But basically it's going to be Slash, and he very much looks like a traditional Slash here. But Faker was a He-Man character, or Masters of the Universe character, which was like a blue He-Man who was basically created by Skeletor in order to be the counterpart of He-Man for the evil army. And that makes sense because Slash is sort of like the evil turtle. I mean, it's sort of a natural fit there. I'm not really sure what's going on with the technology behind Slash's vest there, or his armor plate. And so that's of interest. But Slash himself looks pretty darn similar to just the Slash Ninja Turtle figure. And then we have Krang here. And Krang looks like the perfect combination, once again, of Ninja Turtles and the He-Man universe. And I just love his mutated cartoony look. And it's just perfect. It's like a giant ogre, but it has a crane and a little android's body here. And I just love it. It just fits in so perfect in every way here. The weaponry system, as far as like, you know, be able to change his hands out for the weapons, just the same as it was in Ninja Turtles there. And I've seen one picture where you can like take Crane's body out and just sort of have it, you know, squished down a little bit. And so he's not going to be as massive. I don't have that picture here in front of me, but I've seen that as well. And so Krang here, a really cool looking figure. And man, like I said, there's a lot of really awesome ones in this toy line. And so that will be one that I'll end up picking up. So overall, I do think it's a pretty darn cool toy line here. I mean, it's a cool idea, but I'm not going to say all of them are 10 out of 10s. I think I liked about 7 out of the, I think there are 12 of them. So we'll say 7 out of 12 are pretty top notch, and I can see adding to my collection. The other 5, probably not so much. What do you all think? Are you interested in the Turtles of Grayskull? Are you going to pick up this wave of action figures? Are you going to wait to see what the next wave has? Or do you think it's a horrible idea in general of combining Turtles with He-Man? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Sorry again for the voice going out, but go out there, find a great game to play. Simply have a great rest of the day.